For today's video, we are going to take a look at defenseman Zayne Parekh. So he's a bit of a divisive prospect, as some pundits has him very high on their list and others not so much. So he presents very exceptional qualities in the offensive zone, but he also presents some glaring deficiencies as well in the defensive zone. After scoring 21 goals in 50 games last season, Parekh is currently on pace to score 33 this season, which would represent the highest goal total from a CHL draft-eligible defenseman since at least Bowen Byram in 2019. To achieve such results, Parekh relies on a very good shot, but he doesn't necessarily overpowers goaltender with a heavy slap shot, as he will instead rely on his wrist shot. He kinda has a very unique way of shooting where he will look very nonchalant, and you can say hi to my French accent there, but makes no mistake because the quality of his shot is higher than one would expect. He is also quite difficult to read for opposing players and goaltender because he takes a lot of shots from his back foot rather than to lean on his front leg, which is quite unorthodox. Despite his somewhat nonchalant appearance, the Saginaw defender is very aware of the space that opens up in front of him in the offensive zone. He can explode into one of these open spaces at any given time, making him an extremely dangerous player as soon as he touches the puck.
Puck rolls around to the near side. Musty and Parekh now gloved down. Parekh, here he is, into the high slot. A chance, a shot. Good save. Vandenberg, the reap of this game. Or Joni for Zayne Parekh. Top of the zone, walking in, high slot. Parekh stumbles, lets it go. Pad save. Back for Mangoni, then back for Zayne Parekh. Walking in, wants to do it again. Lets it go. Save made.
To add to the caution his opponents must have, Parekh is also probably the best defenseman I have seen among prospects in recent years at taking shot while actually looking for a teammate deflection.
Right point Hache. Down for Sapovalov on the rotation. Here's Parekh, has a lane in the circle. Throws it in front. Hache couldn't. 37. Here's Parekh again. Down the wing. Lets it go into traffic save. Over for Zayne Parekh. A long shot deflected there by Max McHugh. Zayne Parekh sends it towards the net. Deflected in front.
The Saginaw defenseman also has solid puck-moving ability and can run a power play brilliantly. He is good at making the defensive coverage move before making a play, but he will take that to another level as he can tightrope the blue line while drawing players onto him. He shows a lot of audacity, but as was mentioned earlier, Parekh has this ability to move explosively in the offensive zone, and he also has very good puck handling, so you never feel worried when you try this kind of play. What I like the most, despite the risk, is that there are no unnecessary movements and that everything seems calculated. There is an intention and a real purpose behind each movement, and he does not fall into the trap of incessant improvisation like a player like Ziv Bouillon does.
To Parekh. Spitfires keep a close eye on him. It's Pierre. Keeping him to the outside, Willis.
Now, 45 points on the year. Here's Parekh. Nice move. High in the slot. Looked like he wanted to put it into a shooting position. The puck rolled up on it. Parekh, left wing circle. Misa turns and fires.
I also like the quality of his passes, which are hard, crisp, and accurate. This is the same thing that we observe when it's come down to his first
Dropped
pass.
off Misa. Across Parekh. Back through. Here's Hayden in the circle.
Haight feeds Parekh. Parekh, cross-ice chance, Willis.
At an all-time fever pitch in Saginaw, Michigan, with the potential of what this team can do, as here's Joey Willis. Doney stops on a dime out here for Parekh. Find its way on the stick of Sapovalov. Now back the other way come the speed.
Zayne Parekh will move back in his own end. Now puck down in James Go. Parekh is back into Spirit Real Estate with Clattenburg all over him. Crisp pass up to back up at center. Zayne Parekh's on it again. Throws a pass cross-ice. Sapovalov knocks it away from Evans. He heads towards the net. Dugan. Up and across. Parekh finds Young to center. Past the midway point here of period one. Up for Ethan.
If his portrait seems rather positive so far, things get much more difficult when it comes down to his defensive play. Long story short, his game simply lacks commitment. When I mentioned that his puck moving ability always seems to hide a very specific purpose behind each movement, well, it is quite the opposite that we observe from Parekh's play without the puck. He'll simply move towards the puck carrier without any ill intention. The player has the luxury of making the play once since no real pressure is placed upon him. Parekh does not force his opponents to rush their decision, instead contenting himself with only making an act of presence. To be honest, I simply don't like the way he defends. He will never engage the body, he will instead extend his reach with one hand on his sticks and he will keep that length against his opponent. The level of involvement is simply not sufficient. Doing so, he also tends to leave a lot of space for opposing forwards.
Dugan has to delay. Could have been a dangerous opportunity for the...
He is a defenseman who is simply not difficult to play against. Not only he does not play hard, but I saw him time and time again commit turnover because he was unwilling of paying the price. Positioning wise, he is also quite erratic. Within the same defensive presence, he can find himself high on the right side, only to be low on the left side a few moments later. This caused confusion among his teammates as the player do not know who should cover who on the ice. Another thing that stands out negatively in Parekh's defensive play is that he does not seem aware of what is happening behind him. This is mainly observed on the PK when he constantly leaves one or more players unsupervised in the slot or at the goalmouth area.
Shot, good save by Andrew Oak. He flashes out the left pad. Ethan Hayes hammered by Tristan Bertucci. Firebirds keep the puck in. Dan Kressler near side. Giroux rising shot. Hit to the puck though. That was a gift for Fisher. Vilmanis now up top. Fisher left point. Rongsing shot and a great left point. Near side Karki. Center point Kudravtsev again. Down to the goal line. Here's McConnell Parker. Jam play. Send it wide. Rebound. Lusty gets things back. Quick shot. Going at backdoor. Trying to tap it through. It goes to the goal mouth and a diving block.
He also has this unfortunate tendency to think about creating offense while in those situations, so while he's playing on the PK. We have an example here of a poor read by Parekh. A turnover has been committed in the offensive zone and the opposing team start a counter-attack. So far, nothing threatening as the situation is shaping up to be a 3 versus 3 or maybe even a 2 versus 3. So Parekh is at the bottom of the screen and he is being tasked of covering the player who is on the far side. He will instead move towards the puck carrier, leaving the player on the left completely alone, and this results in a goal against the Saginaw Spirit. Parekh also tends to defend in a way that doesn't seem very serious or professional, as he often lays down on the ice full length as he's trying to block a passing lane or even trying to block a shot, but his moments are not always well chosen.
Words up the wall. Here's a chance. Kasper Haltonen down the right side. 2-on-1. Long shot. He scores. Great. Puck back out the center, although this time it was more Allard's idea than anybody else. Puck coughed up, and now here's Cloutier. Allard down the left side. Throws in a nice diving block by...
The last and final aspect that worries me about Parekh's off-puck game, and I think we've covered enough already, is that he has a certain lack of physical strength and he has a lot of difficulty defending against physicality even at the OHL level. He was also the victim of several pretty good hits in my viewing, and what worries me the most is that Parekh is so used of not engaging the body that he does not seem to anticipate that his opponents on the other end are going to do so. So at multiple times, he was able to see a player moving towards him, but he didn't feel the need to protect himself, resulting in him being hammered.
Arky. Paddled down by Nolan Lalonde, and the outlet pass, Zayne Parekh was crunched. Sirazai, and it passed too far for Caden Petrie, so Zayne Parekh can take over. Colson will plant Zayne Parekh.
And to come back with something a little bit more positive, there were some improvement in Parekh's play of the puck, especially in the neutral zone where he was able to stand his ground properly.
And Caleb Mangoni picked off by Millette. Greentree back.
So for everything that I've said regarding his play without the puck, you would be able to guess that I would have a hard time pushing for him early in the draft. If they are not corrected, his weaknesses will only be exacerbated at the NHL level, and even more so when it will come time to the playoff. That being said, I constantly repeat that when you evaluate prospects of this caliber, you must not only question yourself about what this player can bring to my organization, but you must also question yourself about what your organization can bring to this player so that he can reach another level in his development. So for some players, maybe it could be to work with a mental preparation consultant. For other players, it would be to follow a proper training regimen during the off-season. And for other players, it would be whether or not the team has the right complement for them in their lineup. So I talked a little bit about it last season with, let's say, a player like Gabe Perreault, who was super talented, but to my dislike, he was maybe a little bit afraid of playing in the corners, which is now much better, by the way. And like a possible fit for him would have maybe to have a center like Rupe Ince, who tends to play like the F1, so he's the first player on his line on the forecheck, which is a little bit unusual for a center. And for Parekh, it is a little bit of the same story. So maybe a team that relies on big defensemen already capable of shutting down the opposing offense could be seduced. So it could be a little bit perilous to rank him too low, although I tend to be on the skeptical side of things with him as a player. I do see him being able to play as a number one power play quarterback in the NHL. So it's gonna be a little bit tricky to rank him properly. And this is it for this video. So the next one, you do not want to miss that one because it is going to be on Ivan Demidov. So have a great week. See you next time.
Side wall, dropped off for Zayne Parekh in the circle, lets it go, good save by. Return feed for Parekh, across, here's Hunter Haight. Back over for Zayne Parekh, walks to the middle of the ice, a long shot, Costanza. Up top, Zayne Parekh, long shot, nice save by. Has Haight as an option, finds him in the circle. Back for Hunter Haight, on his backhand, takes a shot, good save by Ryan. Back up for Parekh again. He's got Mangoni in the circle. Gives it to him. Mangoni holds near side. He goes down with Misa right on the blue pink. Days back up. Here's Parekh. Mangoni in the circle. Near side. Haight shoots it.
Played back to Parekh. Cross ice feed. Haight shot bouncing around.
It's over his blade. 18 seconds gone. DeAngelis intercepted by Zayne Parekh. He's going to wheel this back out the center. One man against two. Ethan Haight joins. What's Parekh going to do? He'll peel back up the far side wall. Throw it in front. Here's a short-handed chest. Locus and a great.
Grounds can't get to it. Parekh. Deeper, 5 seconds remaining. Backdoor feed, scores.
He failed a one-time effort, it was by.
3 seconds left on the power play, and at 8:14. He's got numbers, as slow to turn. Now Kudryavtsev on his man, but there's a shot.
Hache and across for Parekh. Head up, near side. Willis throws it back through the seam. Mangoni, what a goal! Don't always open up like that, but when they do, oh boy. Hunter Haight takes the shot. Center point Parekh. Likes what he sees. Near side, Misa shoots and a good. Aiden Castle. Far side board. Slips it up. Parekh near side. Donovan, lots of real estate. Walking in, shooting, and that's off.